Greetings ladies and gentlemen, Fuzzfinger here, welcome back to Final Fantasy IX and our Excalibur Perfect Game playthrough, Excalibur II rather I should say. And this is quite an interesting section, which is pretty average in terms of how difficult it is, minus one particular section near the start, which you're going to see in a minute, which did take me a few attempts to practice. So make your way over to Vivi and chat to him, and that'll kick off the first set of cutscenes leading into the next part of the game. This bit's simple enough. Then this first bit, you just have to use the left and right directional buttons and you'll be able to get the cage to swing. Eventually, when you're going quite a distance in this thing, you'll have to do multiple pushes of the directional pad in the same direction in order to get it going even further. But it shouldn't be too challenging. I mean, this is part of the standard game anyway. It's not anything special for the Excalibur II playthrough. Eventually it's going to go off the screen here and then you'll know that you're almost done. I think you have to push it 3 times in each direction a couple of times in order to get it to the place where you need it to be. But the challenging bit I mentioned at the start is coming up after this section. And it's probably going to frustrate you. It certainly did frustrate me. If I'm honest, this episode was far from perfect for me in terms of, you know, where we end up and whatnot. And I did end up having to use the battle assist for the boss fight at the end of this session, but I just couldn't bear myself to have to reload from that first save point. Again, have to do this particular section. So what you need to do is dodge these 2 soldiers by running around them, and if they bump into you, you're going to get into an encounter that's going to give you experience. And I did even try fleeing from it, but it didn't seem to work. So you do need to run around those guys, and it can take a bit of practice, but fortunately, because this is the PS4 version or the Steam version if you're playing on that, or iOS, we do have the auto-save feature, so just load your continue save if you need to in order to practice, just to get put back right at that starting section where those soldiers spawn. Now, if you're playing on the PS1 or the PS2 port of the PS1 game, then you will have to load the save up every time you fail at doing those soldiers in order to do them again, unfortunately, which is a bit annoying, but that's just the way it is. So at least us PS4, Steam and iOS players have something fortunate about this situation. Right, so once we've got through that bit, we're going to bump into the rest of our team here, and we're going to be running back through an area that we visited at the start of the game. So we'll just have to make our way through the dialogue. I'm not sure why I didn't speed this up actually, but you'll probably want to do so. And we need to do this section before the timer reaches 26 minutes. So right now, obviously it starts at 30, and it's not too hard to get to 26 minutes, but you don't want to mess things up, so just follow what I do. You want to go the exact path, the exact route that I go here, and head back into the castle, and then you take the staircase. I don't think it matters whether you go left or right, so I went left. Either way, you want to go through the door at the bottom. And you want to avoid these other soldiers as well, because if they touch you, you will get kicked into battle, but fortunately they're very easy to avoid. You should do that really on your first attempt more than anything. And then when you enter this room here, which is the Queen's Chamber, we get a bit of dialogue from Zidane, and then we're going to move over to the candle on the far side of the room, and if we activate that, we'll get the secret passage which we're going to take. So just run down there, and then we can see there's this moving platform. And the first thing we're going to want to do is just grab those 2 chests. Nothing exciting in them, in all honesty. Well, actually there is an ice brand sword which we're going to be using, so I'll take that back. I think the other items are tent if I'm remembering correctly. So we'll grab both of those, and then just for time's sake, you do want to jump on the platform the first time it comes around there after looting those chests. And then you're just going to make your way down, but just make sure we take a brief pause here and sort Steiner's equipment out. We're going to change the mithril sword that he's using for the ice brand. So that's the first thing that we need to give him. And then we're also going to give him the bronze helm, the mithril gloves, and then to make sure he has the chainmail on and the power belt, which he should do anyway. And in terms of abilities, he's going to want to be using Man-Eater, MP attack, and the counter abilities. So that's what Thomas's guide instructs us in. To be honest, because I end up using battle assist, I'm not sure how useful this pause was, but it is part of the guide, so I am going to show it to you anyhow. And the other thing you want to do is just make sure that Steiner and Zidane are in the front row with Vivi and Freya in the back. Okay, so next up we're going to just run down these stairs here. I do actually take a wrong turn at the bottom, so I'll show you where that is, and then you'll know not to do it, but just keep heading down for now. And out to the bottom of the screen here. Okay, this is where I screwed up. You want to come around, and then you want to go through that door there, that wooden door. I don't know why I ended up continuing going down, I just wasn't paying attention. But that is the wrong way to go. So you do just want to go through this door, as I said. And once you enter into here, you're going to kick off another dialogue scene, followed by the next boss fight, which is going to be against Zorn and Thorn here. And we do want to make sure that we reach Garnet before the clock ticks past 26 minutes, which means in order to finish this fight within 45 seconds, I did go ahead and use Battle Assist. If you're not using Battle Assist, then all you need to do is attack Thorn by using Steiner, and then with Freya you're going to attack whichever one gets boosted by the power buff. Now what should happen is that you use Vivi to do AoE Blizzard on the party in order to bring them into critical health. Now I couldn't do that because it would have killed them, but it is important to have that critical health for the upcoming fight against Beatrix, so I'm going to have to improvise on that one as well. But the point is you want to finish before 26 minutes, after which you get this forced ATE. Oh, by the way, you can steal from those guys as well, but it's not essential, so I didn't bother because of the time. Once you've done that, you're going to go to Zidane, and you want to replace his leather hat with the... There we go, the bandana. And we're going to sort his abilities out as well. And for abilities, he basically wants Man-Eater. And that's all that really matters. And then we're going to go ahead and do Magnet. There's a letter we need to read from Kupo. And that brings us to the end of this session. So not a perfect run, in all honesty. I'm going to check my time. I don't think the time was too bad. But looking back now, I do wish that I'd improved on a few things. For example, not going the wrong way for starters. But also on that boss fight as well. Having a little bit more time to do things properly. But I just couldn't bear myself to have to go through that soldier routine again. So that's why I didn't bother. Alright then, well that's the end of the session, so let's have a look at the time here. There we go then, so my time is 3 hours 56 minutes and 55 seconds, so we're still ahead of schedule, which is pretty good. The target time in Atomos's GameFAQs walkthrough guide, link in description as always, is 4 hours and 7 minutes and 59 seconds. So we're a good, well, a good 11 minutes ahead of schedule, which is pretty good by this point of the game. So hopefully we'll be able to make it all the way through in order to collect the Excalibur II sword. Now the next session is supposed to be possibly the most awkward and hardest session as part of this series is concerned. So we'll see how we get on with that. Look forward to it. But thanks for stopping by today, folks. Goodbye.